full presentation capability. So we have a full HD projector, a screen. We also have this blackout curtain that we can adjust. Full sound system with microphones, and like I said, we can even host events after school hours for our outside partners. Some of our local partners have done events here. So another thing to point out, our windows actually are really high tech, so you can change the tint level on the windows. You can adjust the tint, which is really cool, because sometimes it's really hot and we need it darkened, and sometimes we want that light coming in. So we have that ability, and that's really fortunate. We're really lucky to have this school. It's actually the brainchild of Charles Butt. So Charles Butt from HEB, the Holdsworth Center. In fact, HEB helped us build this staircase. That was setting up the building was part of their initial donation. So we have a lot of corporate partners: HEB, USAA, Rackspace, Jungle Disc, Frost Bank, and many, many more. But those corporate partnerships are what really makes the school unique, because we have the ability to bring in their expertise. The Frost Bankers teach our students banking, for example, or USAA taught our students design, thinking, and user experience. Which brings me to my next point. We have three main pathways at this school: business, tech, and design. So business includes just your basic concepts of business and entrepreneurship. Tech is going to include computer science and IT, help desk type work. And then design is really what's called UX. Are you familiar with UX? Okay. Yeah, a lot of people aren't. It's a new field. It's called user experience. That's what UX stands for. And it's basically the study of why people will spend time on a website or even in a store, whatever it might be, the experience of the user from end to end. So it blends technology, design, psychology. It's a very wide ranging field. Okay, so that's all of our students will take courses in one of those pathways, but they're still going to have their regular core courses: English, math, social studies, science. We are an in-district charter, which means that it's open to students from outside San Antonio ISD, but also 50% of the students will come from SAISD. And research shows that when you mix kids from different socioeconomic levels, you actually get a better outcome in a school. So, there's some schools where the majority is wealthy, there's some schools where the majority is low income, and those schools, they really don't perform as highly as schools where that benefit from the mixed income levels. So that's something I'm really proud of about this school. And it's open to everybody. It's a lottery system. So we have a lottery for the in-district students and a lottery for the out-of-district students. So there's no entrance exams or requirements to get in. And like I said, at this time we only have 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. Do you have any questions at this point? All right, great. Well, let's take a walk. We've got a lot of interesting design and concepts in furniture. The students can move it around. It's very versatile. So in the mornings, the students will eat breakfast, or after school they can hang out here and work on group projects. Right here is our admin suite. So we have our front end support, Mr. Hector, Miss Yadi, Miss Tamiko, and then back there also are our principals, Dr. Alcala, and our assistant principal, Mr. Barber. Right here is our counseling center. So we have the counselor's office and a counseling conference room, and then we have another office for when we eventually get another counselor. So if you'll walk with me. And you can notice the quotes on the wall. You'll find quite a few of them as we go. Now I want to bring you in here. This is our teacher's lounge. All right. I told you. Let's wait till we get the whole group in here. All right, is this the whole group? Yeah. Everybody in? All right, great. So this is our teacher's lounge. Right now we have about 18 teachers, and they all get a 35-minute lunch at the same time. So they need a comfortable space. That's why we have multiple microwaves, multiple bathrooms, multiple refrigerators. By the way, if anybody on the tour needs to use the bathroom, now's a good time. We also have these 2 phone booths where you can make a private phone call. Those are not where we put, bad kids. That's not after school detention, I promise. Those are for making phone calls. So we get that question a lot, so I like to, that's where I try to make jokes, but nobody laughed. All right. This way.
I and bubble gum on my truck.
Note, jokes, humor, you gotta keep it real safe. Keep it safe. Even that joke could be like, oh, that's mean to kids, you know. So, yeah, be real careful with jokes. You want to be friendly, but, you know, don't be edgy. All right, right here is our locker system. What do you notice? There's no locks. Why not?
Trust.
We've built a community of trust, exactly. This school has really worked hard on our culture. We expect our students to act with integrity and honor. And so students can leave their valuables here and trust that they're not going to get taken. I've seen cell phones, musical instruments, you know, delicious lunches, and you know, generally speaking, we haven't had any problems. Now, oftentimes the question is asked, has there ever been an incident? And my answer is yes, there are incidents, but when they happen, we hear about it right away and we deal with it as best we can right away. But for the most part, it's pretty safe. Now, you're the students. Is that true? If it's not true, how is it not true? Tell me, give me the real skinny on that. What's going on? Is stuff safe here generally, or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. People will just look through it and they'll be like, hey, that's messed up, back off.
Has anybody ever had something stolen from here? It's okay if you have. Yeah. Okay. What was stolen?
That was my binder.
Okay. Did it ever get found?
No.
Weird.
I
Who steals a binder?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Exactly.
There's like
It's,
6 of them right there.
it's none
Is
of
it
the-
here?
No, trust me, I looked when I got
Okay.
here. I was like, is that
Okay.
no?
How many of you know of a classmate that had something stolen from this area?
Oh, not this area.
Okay. So a couple. Was it a phone?
My earbuds.
Earbuds? Okay. Yeah, so does it happen? Of course it can happen. But same thing can happen if you had locks anyway. Somebody who knows your password or your combination can get in. Alright, let's keep moving. But that's the point you emphasize there, is the collaborative nature of the school. And the restroom. I like to start people off in Gothi's room. Can I give him a tour? Y'all mind? Oh, you should be a part of this. You're doing the training. But anyway, I know you wanted to be involved, Kanina, but you don't have to if you're busy. So normally what you would do is check with Mr. Gothi. Mr. Gothi, I have a tour. Is it okay if we come in? If it, you know, if everything looks kind of real quiet or something, they might be taking a test, right? But usually Mr. Gothi will say, yeah, come on in. And then say, you know, if you need prodding, so sometimes you just come in quietly and observe, but if you want to, you could kind of say, like, are you able, you know, privately, like, are you able to tell them what you're working on? Or a student, just say, hey, is it okay if this student tells our guest, Aurora, what they're working on? And so let's just practice that. So, what are you guys working on today?
I mean, we're actually working on like world geography.
Oh.
It's like I never got the class, so I'm working on gaining the credits over the summer.
Very cool, very cool. Okay, any questions for the students? Yeah, so you give them a chance to ask questions. We got nothing to hide at Cass Tech, so if our visitor wants to talk to a student or the teacher and, you know, they're in the classroom, the teacher says it's okay, they can ask questions as needed. Usually they're like, no, I'm good, you know, but sometimes they do want, some of the guests really want to get into the material, especially like in Gothi's class, because they'll talk about like taxes. One time I brought people in here, y'all were talking about presidents and the economy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that got people's attention. So, yeah, and so you'll just kind of walk through. You can point out that one of the things is that we have computers in every classroom, or technology in every classroom for the students. So it's either going to be Chromebooks, iPads, Macs, or PCs, right? Did I leave anything out? Okay. You can point out the video conferencing center. You just need to point it out once, not in every room. So I can point that out now, mention the computers now, and then from there the tour goes faster. You might get a question about the smart board because they're really fancy. They don't require a projector, but you can do a lot with them in terms of like connecting your cellular device or you know, how many different HDMI inputs they have. It's also cool to mention the walls, how we have these walls that are called DIRT. This system is called the DIRT system of walls. That's the name of the company, DIRTT. And basically what it means is these panels pop off. If I don't want this wall here, we can actually move this wall. Like this, everything that has that silver railing can be removed. It doesn't go all the way to the ceiling, so it's not anchored to the building, it's movable. right? It's not easy to move, but you can move it if you have a crew. So if we decide we wanted to open this and connect, like we could literally connect this room with that room and block off this hallway if we wanted to. All it requires is that they change the tracking for the dirt wall. But the really cool thing about it is, let's say Mr. Gothi doesn't want his whiteboard here. He'd rather have just a panel. He doesn't want this whiteboard. Well, you can switch it out with one of those blue panels. Or he could switch that blue panel with this whiteboard and have a whiteboard over there if you wanted to. So that's a nice advantage of the walls. Another nice advantage of the walls, to get to the electronics, you don't have to cut into the wall. So in a traditional drywall, you have to cut into the wall to get to your wiring, right? But here you don't have to, which is really cool. Just a little detail for the tour. And then we'll go on. Another little note for you guys is oftentimes, I want you to know the difference between touring a business partner and touring parents with a kid.
Yeah.
Right? Know your audience. So the business partners, they just kind of want to see, wow, I haven't been in a high school in 20 years. This is so different. Wow. They just want to be wowed. They want to see where the money's going and how it's helping, right? If we have a donor, that's a special kind of tour because we want them to feel thanked. If we have a business partner, we want them to feel impressed. And if we have a student, we want them to feel welcome and like they want to come here to school, right? So know your audience and know what the impression you're trying to give, right? So that'll be something to put in the system, is making sure we know who's coming in. Now this is Miss Dodd's room. I usually do a quick stop in here, but she has lots of collaborative work, so it depends on what's going on. But you can kind of use your judgment. If it looks like something cool is happening, feel free to take them in. I would say on a given tour, maybe hit 2 or 3 classrooms on each floor, right? So if you can hit, at least a couple, but you don't have to hit every classroom. All right, so we're going to take the group up. This is our admin conference room.